Welcome to another edition of Faith in Sports. Hello, I'm your host, Rick Bowles, and my co-host is James Carnell.
Yeah, hello.
He is ready to talk about the great early success of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Oh, and your Texas Rangers.
Yes, we will get into that for sure.
Definitely talk
Our
about
producer is James Bridges, a.k.a. JB.
Hello.
Faith in Sports will be highlighting coaches, student athletes, and all things SAGU athletics. SAGU is a Christian university located in the heart of Waxahachie, Texas. We are happy for one of our own alumni sponsoring this radio program. VCR Now is a technology organization that can fulfill all your LED, audio, video, lighting needs, whether it's a sports stadium, arena, house of worship, or business. Well, Mr. Carnell, your Cardinals are 2-1.
They are.
With three games against the Blue Jays, who you said are pretty good.
Picked to be the number one team in the National and the American League.
Yeah,
so
we'll see. And what have you seen so far that keeps you optimistic about this season?
Their offense is going to be, they're going to be raking constantly. I think they're going to have top to bottom great offense. Pitching is maybe a little bit of a question mark. Waino is out with a strained groin. He will be. They don't have a timetable for him, but he nailed it on the national anthem on opening day. I don't know if you saw that, but it was awesome. Wainwright, this is his last year retiring, and you got it. You got it. Adam Wainwright, ladies and gentlemen, beginning his musical career as he closes out his MLB stellar career.
So that is why he is hurt today.
He probably hurt himself.
Did you see the video? They're lined up.
Oh yes,
on both first and third base, and all of a sudden he just walks away, and the guys next to him are like, "What?
Yes,
you're going to sing the national anthem?"
His teammates did not know it. He kept it from everybody, which I thought was hilarious.
Eat your heart out, Chris Stapleton.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Oh. So I was sick that day, so I was actually able to watch that game from home.
Yeah, I've reported you to HR, by the way.
You got my MLB letter, though, right? They sent that out.
Yeah, that's right. Well, my Texas Rangers are 3-0. That means they're undefeated so far.
They are undefeated. Who did they play?
3 solid wins against the Philadelphia Phillies. Saturday night, Mitch Garner, 2-3 hit 3-run home runs.
They did awesome.
Pretty good.
That is pretty good. Yeah.
So and then they did a 16-3 whipping on Saturday of the Phillies.
They have flat put up some runs. Now the last game I think it was a 2-1, so they got tired.
Yeah, yesterday. They were like,
as
long as we win, we just need 2 points.
Yeah, they're fine. Now if they can keep that up, if their pitching can continue, I don't know about their number 4, 5. We'll see how the rotation goes from here. But, DeGrom did good.
Well, the first game, he struggled a little bit. Well, but they came back with, nine runs in was it 9 runs or 6 runs?
But he
in
missed
the
most
innings.
of most spring training. So, this is kind of his spring training. So, he'll look good. I think they're number 1, number 2, and number 3 guys. I think they'll be fine. We'll see how the 4 and 5 guys go.
But it is exciting for those of us who are Texas Ranger fans.
Yes. I remember.
3-0, that's not a bad. It's been a long time since they've started 3-0.
Yeah, very good. So there's optimism in Texas Ranger land.
Cool.
What about the women's NCAA? Did you get to watch any of that? I watched
just
Iowa.
Few highlights.
LSU game yesterday, championship.
Yeah.
Man, it was exciting.
I saw where what's the coach's name for LSU? She used to be at Baylor.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, her.
She was quite emotional. I guess she's from Louisiana. I guess that's
she's originally from Louisiana.
So
she coached at LA Tech and got her start there in coaching. And, of course, then when Baylor had the success at Baylor, but felt she wanted to go back her home.
Kim Mulkey?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for looking that up, JB. So, one of the cool things is her son is on the Cardinals baseball team.
Really?
He plays baseball for the St. Louis Cardinals.
We're happy for you.
Yeah.
Well, tonight, UConn will play San Diego State in the championship game in the men's final.
For the men's final, yeah.
Can you believe that 6 people predicted the correct Final Four teams?
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
of the millions that play the brackets.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. And
Wow.
my bracket was horrible.
I didn't even
Horrible.
get to start mine this
You
year.
didn't do
I
one?
was in Israel when they came out, and so I didn't get a chance to do that. So,
JB, he's always looking for excuses. Have you noticed that?
He's always in Israel.
well,
That's
yeah,
true.
yeah. So didn't get to do one this year, but oh well.
Well, give us an update on how some of the games went last week with our baseball and softball teams.
All right. Well, the baseball team had a doubleheader on Saturday, winning both games against Wayland Baptist. The SAGU Lions started off the day strong in a 3-0 victory against the Pioneers. Michael Watson led the fight, nearly pitching his second no-hitter of the year. The guy is lights out. In Saturday's game 2, the SAGU Lions took a 9-6 victory, extending their winning streak to 5. The Lions scored 9 runs on a dozen hits. And then on Sunday afternoon, Wayland Baptist got a win, 10-7. So, great weekend for the men. The women dropped all 4 games in their Friday and Saturday doubleheaders against Oklahoma Christian University, who's a powerhouse.
So our coach,
They're great.
Waddy, who we had on the show a few
Yes.
weeks ago, is a
Mhm.
good friend of you. You
Yeah.
guys went to school together.
Yes.
Here, right here.
Played baseball together.
What are you going to do? I mean, not only have they dropped those 4, but there were several previous to that. So
yeah, they're
pep
struggling.
talk.
It's pitching.
Is
The coach can't go out there and pitch. So
Thank goodness.
but it comes down to pitching, and they're just struggling with pitching right now. But I think their hitting they're looking good on other aspects of the game, but the pitching is just.
Well,
gonna
I'll call him
struggle.
up, tell him that you can come in and help coach. If
Yeah.
if it's needed. We know how good you are at softball.
He asked me if I would come in and practice pitch, and I'm like, dude,
We've seen you try to hit fast pitch ball.
you have.
Yeah, and it wasn't pretty.
It was not.
Well, coming up this week, the baseball team will host Louisiana State University tomorrow at noon, and the women will be in Oklahoma this Friday and Saturday. So if you've got an interest and got some time at noon tomorrow, come on out to SAGU and watch some good baseball. You can go to SAGULions.com for all things SAGU sports, so check that out. Tonight's program, we have Jake Doolittle. What a great name for a quarterback. What do you think? One of our quarterbacks for the SAGU Lions football team. Jake, welcome to the show.
How's it going, guys?
Doing good. So
Good to have you.
before we kind of
Thank
get
you.
to know you a little bit better, you had a scrimmage game Saturday. Just briefly kind of tell us from your point of view how things went and how things are looking so far in the spring.
I think things are looking up. I think this last spring we've been working a lot of detail stuff, kind of putting in a different offense, just trying to clean that up. Get the guys from last year to get on the same page with the guys that are new, and it's definitely looking up. The spring scrimmage went really well. I think we had a rocky start, just kind of trying to establish the run and figure things out, but eventually once we did, got the ball rolling, got some easy passes, and all of a sudden we're scoring every drive. So that was
So
good.
this spring, did you practice at all with pads?
yeah.
Okay, so this wasn't like, boom, here's their pads.
yeah.
No,
we
get out
we
there
had
and
a couple,
practice.
We've had a couple, padded practice and full contact practices, but this was the first time that we got to, really go full force. Everybody
did
was
they-
all go, even me.
Did they implement the offense that you wanted?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We have a really great coordinator in Brent Battle.
So he takes input and what have you. And
Yeah, no, he's one of those coaches that I've come from a lot of places where the coach's way is the highway, or coach's way over the highway. But Brent's very good at getting the player input. He wants what you're good at, and so he's gonna go and ask you. He's an offensive mastermind, so he's got a plan. But nobody watches more film than him. But
Well, you are a transfer from Pasadena City College in Pasadena, California, which makes sense, and enrolled here this semester. So you went to Western Christian High School in Upland, California. So tell us a little bit, where is Upland, and tell us a little bit about getting here from there.
yeah, it's a crazy story about all wrapped up in my testimony. But Upland's about a 30-40 mile trip down the freeway from LA. So it's right in smack dab middle of Southern California, which is a really beautiful place. It's got plenty of people and plenty of things to do. But yeah, I mean, high school's great out there. I'm just it's a great place to grow up and live, and there's just anything you want is really out there. The beach is an hour away, the mountains are an hour away, the deserts, the dunes are an hour away. So you really got everything you want.
That's nice. I love that climate out there. My wife's favorite. Yeah. She keeps telling me we need to move out there, and I'm like, ain't happening. Can't afford it.
No, yeah, that's what a lot of people are saying.
I know a lot of people who have had a home there for years and then moved here, and it's like we can just pay cash for our home here.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, did you play any other sports in middle school or high school, or is it just football?
Yeah, I was actually pretty big on basketball and volleyball. Believe it or
Really?
not. Yeah, we didn't have
Sand volleyball?
Court volleyball.
Really?
Yeah, men's volleyball was we put it in when I was in 6th grade, and we didn't have a baseball team, so I was just like, okay, I'll pick up volleyball, and it kind of stuck, and I ended up playing up until senior year of high school, which is really fun. I honestly thought I was gonna go do it collegiately for a long time.
Really?
But
Wow.
and I found football, and that was different.
So you said you found football. When did you decide? Hey, I think being a quarterback is something I can be successful in.
Yeah, when I was young, the reason I played football is because my two uncles, they played at the same high school that I did. And so, growing up watching their games, that shaped my whole personality. You wanted to go and play quarterback for the Western Christian Lancers, shout out. But
Make sure they listen in.
Yeah, right. I'll be sure to send them a link. But I think it wasn't until my junior year where it really clicked for me. We got a new coach. We had a lot of, early strife in my first 2 years, kind of coming in, and we were 0-10 a couple times, and I was bouncing between quarterback and receiver, just trying to help the team out whatever I could. Even playing some linebacker. But I hit my junior year and got a new coach, learned offense, learned how to read defenses, and I just fell in love with it. So I was a little late bloomer, but once it got the ball rolling, I was like, man, I got a lot in the tank for this. So
yeah,
that's
cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your faith journey. So this is Faith in Sports is the name of the program. So we always like to ask our guests to talk about that aspect. When did you decide to commit your life to Christ, and what was that like? Tell us about your testimony there.
Yeah. So growing up in a Christian home, it's hard to I think pick out a time, but I think I always consider when I started to follow that calling I had in my life. So it wasn't really until high school, sophomore, junior year, where things really started to change to me, where I saw kind of the different skills and abilities that God has given me, not just athletically, but, socially and, mentally, how I was able to, figure things out. I kind of just was God's really calling me to do more. And that's when I, kind of made that personal decision to start following his plan,
Yeah, cool. And so that was in what point of that life? Is your high school years, or is that?
Yeah, my junior year of high school.
Sweet. So talk about coming to SAGU. What brought you here to SAGU?
Yeah, so it's actually a crazy trip. I was actually going to go to an NAIA school at my senior year of high school. Then COVID hit, so COVID kind of canceled all those plans. The school ended up closing. It was a small school, out in Illinois, Bannockburn, Illinois. It just had nothing going for it. I mean, it was just a bunch of trees, not even a movie theater or a Target nearby. So
wow,
we kind of went out there, and I was like, it's got football,
Yeah.
So, I was looking for a school that I could play at, but it was also a nice Christian school. And so I got a call from the Pasadena City College coaches, and, I kind of was just listening to the voices in my head, just saying you need to go and you need to chase this. And so, I got to stay home, got to work at my first job during COVID, and then, I got to play in front of my family for 2 years. And then, one of my buddies on the team actually got recruited before me. Okay. And so they came back, my sophomore year and came recruit us, and that was pretty cool. So now I'm at a great place.
Awesome.
Yeah. So is he still here?
Yeah.
So is he on the football team?
Yeah, Justin Campball.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he's a really awesome dude.
What position does he play?
He's a receiver.
Okay.
So
there you go.
We spent a lot of time throwing during COVID and
I bet
in the off season.
So he came first, played at SAGU, and then came back and recruited you.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was
I
great.
mean, so what's the process? So do you reach out to a coach, or does he connect you with a coach? And how does that work versus a coach maybe seeing something about you on YouTube or some of your stats and go, I want to check this guy out. How does it work in the NIA world where you're already at a college and you say, hey, I'd like to check out SAGU?
Yeah, so I think a lot of people kind of the misconception about recruiting is that they come and find you. It's a lot of it is you're putting your information out to people. Mm-hmm. So I had great coaches at Pasadena who would go and send all my stuff out to different coaches, and we got to create a relationship with SAGU where, they're going to come back to my junior college and hopefully get more guys to come out.
Excellent.
So, with them, it was like they came over to my school and was like, hey, you guys got anybody that's, looking to transfer out that can come mid-year? Because I'd, work my butt off to be academically, eligible to leave my junior college mid-year. So, and they're like, yeah, we got this guy, you can check him out. And they eventually kind of looked at my film and highlights. They called me up and we had a great conversation. It was, kind of hit it off, and I got offered.
Great. Awesome. Great. So you're coming in spring semester. Is that a little difficult, coming in? Guys have already been here. And
yeah, I mean, it's I think just in every aspect it's a little tougher. You have the kind of everybody's kind of already moved in, everybody who's new. But I'm used to that kind of change, and football and socially going to junior college, all that stuff. Things change all the time. You got to be kind of on the fly. So kind of like JB was talking about earlier, you just got to always on the fly. Always thinking on the fly. But I love it here. I mean, it's really easy to move in with the kind of atmosphere that the SAGU has. So
awesome. So you got to meet Coach Ellis. Was he a part of that recruitment process?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's easy to talk ball with a lot of different coaches. I mean, coaches were calling me in the spring. And Coach Pointer, our recruiting coordinator, called me up and we talked ball. But then when Coach Ellis called me, I think what sold me on SAGU was the hour-long conversation we had that wasn't even like related to ball at all. We just talked about, faith and just like how God has brought me to SAGU, It was a beautiful conversation that just kind of just turned into like me being like, okay, I'm going to commit.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love that. I love that. Coach would always say everywhere he goes, Coach Ellis, that's the most important thing. He goes, the X's and O's, that stuff is great, but he goes, their faith. That's what he's looking for and developing here, which is really exciting. So tell me about some of your goals. What are some of your goals now coming into this football season?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of cliche things you can say. I think, but I think for me personally, I think one of the biggest things is that I just want to see the team take the step in the direction it's trying to take. Just improve off. We've had 2 bowl game appearances in the last 2 years, so the goal now is just make playoffs, and whether that's whether I'm a supporting role or I'm leading the troops, I think whatever that is, I'm just trying to help us see that. But another personal goal for me is I just want to see one of the players on the team, maybe who was in unbelief, come to Christ. That'd be a really cool moment because it's like that's how football works. It brings people together and has the opportunity to open up kind of that door for God to seek someone and enter their life. So
that's awesome.
So coming into SAGU as a believer, but also spending a couple of years at is it a community college, junior college? Pasadena?
Yeah,
So now you've got classes. Part of your requirements here, no matter what your degree is, to take some Bible classes, which is a foundational thing for us. You go to chapel a few days a week. You've got dorm devotions. Tell me about the spiritual side of what you've seen with SAGUs, because some athletes really embrace it, and some are like, well, I just want to focus on football. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think I went to a Christian high school and I just had the best time there. I mean, my dad was the principal there actually, and I think Christian education is one of the most important things in the world we have today, because it's the fight against, Ephesians 6 talked about like the principalities of evil, like the spiritual forces of another world, like the dark world, which sounds kind of mythological in a way, but I think Christian education is that spiritual warfare where we're like training the next generation of Christian leaders,
Right.
And so I think you got a place like SAGU where you're doing that on the collegiate level, and it's awesome to be like in those Bible classes, growing your spiritual intellect. I think, and then you bring people in who don't have the best faith, or might not be believers at all because they're just coming for sports. That opens up the door for a missions ground. I think every practice I get is a missions opportunity for my coaches and for me, for those people who came and weren't necessarily believers. So
that's cool. So what has been, or who has been the greatest influence in your life? One or two people?
Yeah, I think my dad. My dad's been great. We've had a great relationship, when I was younger, he was kind of like the big boss authority, and then, he still is. But as I got older, into high school, we kind of started to realize like how close we were, how similar we were.
Was he an athlete as well?
No, actually, surprisingly not.
Yeah.
He was, he played soccer, but he.
But is that really a sport? No, I'm kidding.
Oh, Coach Clem, did you hear that?
Shots
I
fired.
go back to my FCA days, and I had a staff member who was, a year out, he was telling me when the World Cup was, and he literally had a countdown, and he would just come in my office every week. Hey, it's still 360 days, whatever. And I said, dude, is softball? Is soccer really a sport?
Oh,
And
wow.
that's where that came from. So sorry about that, Coach Clem. I love you guys. You're great. I actually went out to their scrimmage last Saturday.
Did you?
Were you there? No.
No.
So I supported
No, I
our
was
soccer
not.
team. So anyway,
He's doing the work.
Oh, that's
out
okay.
there.
I'm going to
We
make sure
digress.
Coach Clem.
we digress. He's not getting a copy of this. So what is your degree and what career have you kind of figured out that you, at this point, want to go into?
Yeah, so I'm actually a history major.
That is
Wow,
the
JB.
best answer you could have given.
Really?
Wow.
Yes.
Really?
Guess
JB?
what degree he has?
History,
JB?
JB?
Yes,
Atta
class
way.
of 2016. Let's
Wow.
go.
Love to see it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so, it was funny because I was pursuing law enforcement and for a while, and when I was at the junior college level, I was getting my associates in criminal justice.
Mhm.
And so, I get out of junior college, and I'm like, I don't know if this is for me. I don't know if I'm using all of my talents, all of the abilities that God's given me. And I want there to be, an open mission field for me to preach God's word without being, under the influence of like the state government or, just you never know when that can change what they could say. So I got out of junior college. I was like, hey, I've been kind of invested in Christian education like my whole life, following my dad. And I figured, this has always been something I've been really, really passionate about. So I want to go back into Christian education, kind of complete that legacy, that my family's been left behind, and just be able to, grow that next generation of Christian leaders. Like I was talking about earlier, like that's just the most important thing I know that God's equipped me to do. So.
Awesome. Yeah, it's awesome. Criminal justice is a great major. We have a great program here.
We do.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
really
really
great
great.
program.
Seems good
I
stuff.
was a police chaplain for 14 years.
Oh, yeah.
So I love that aspect. JB over here, history major. I told him there's no future in being a history major. Boom. Okay. There we go.
It's worked out for
No
me.
fu-
worked
definitely
that joke
no
in
future.
Yeah,
No future.
I worked at a bank for 3 years.
There you go.
It worked out.
Yeah.
I think he missed the whole dad joke side of that, though.
he did.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
That
he
took
did.
a second for me to get it too. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, you have to, I'm just going to warn you,
Yes.
try not to hang out too much with Carnell.
Bring a
This-
little bit of, levity into the situation.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
If we've got time, I think we do. We'll come back after our little break here and ask you some questions that I didn't send you, just to kind of get to know who you are just a
Ooh,
little bit.
okay.
So,
Nice.
JB, tell us who our
Hot seat.
sponsor is.
Driven by producing quality LED video boards, state-of-the-art audio and video production systems at affordable prices, VCR Now makes sure to listen to your needs as an athletic department, business, or church before recommending the next best steps. Come by the campus and visit the Schaefer Activity Center and check out the double-sided LED scoreboard provided by VCR Now. For more information, visit vcrnow.com.
All right, thanks, JB. So we don't have notes on this, Carnell, but I just wanted to kind of throw out a couple of things. So I'll throw out a question, and you can just want to kind of get to know a different side of you. So who is your favorite superhero?
Oh well, if you can't tell by my shirt, I'm a big Superman guy.
So is my grandson.
DC Comics.
Yeah, DC Comics is I'm
Okay.
kind of continuing the conversation we had about my dad. I'm really close with him because we just love comic book movies, comic book
That's cool.
hero
Yeah,
stories, and
yeah.
one of the things that we got big on together was just Superman. We love the Man of Steel movie, the Zack Snyder movie. So that's a great time for us to just sit down. We'll rewatch it all the time. It's just a great time.
Cool.
You
I
know,
was DC growing up. I was definitely DC guy. Yeah.
General Zod is coming back in the Flash movie.
Yeah,
That's gonna
really
be
looking
pretty
forward to
crazy,
that
yeah.
movie. Hoping that it's not a letdown.
Are they talking Greek or
Rick's
what?
over here. My kids are geeked out over.
Yeah.
They're definitely into all that as well. Awesome. Okay, let's talk about favorite sports teams. You mentioned earlier. I don't know if that was off when we weren't recording yet. Was that?
I don't remember. That
The
was
Dodgers,
30
yeah.
minutes ago.
Yeah,
The Dodgers.
Yeah.
The Dodgers is your baseball team.
Yeah. My family's all, our rule in my house is that we're all LA, only LA.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
So when
Really?
we didn't have an LA football team, we were like, okay, well, we'll just not cheer for anybody in the NFL. So
Wow.
when we got the Rams, it was like, sick, Ram Nation.
Yeah.
And then we won the Super Bowl with Matt Stafford, so that was great.
Yeah.
And you know where he's from?
Chavez Ravine.
Dallas.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, he is.
I didn't know that.
South
Highland
Lake
Park
Girl.
High School.
Hmm.
No, Highland Park.
Oh, that's right. It was the other guy from South
So
Lake
you
Girl.
wore a kilt, is what you're saying.
Yes. All right.
They
so
did.
L.A. L.A.
Yeah, so-
Dodgers, L.A. Rams.
Yeah, Rams,
Lakers?
Lakers. That's
Okay.
Kobe.
All LA?
I
Not
have
the
so many
Clippers?
Kobe
Not
jerseys.
the
as well.
Clippers?
No, not the Clippers. No. See, don't get me started on that, Rick, because there's a lot of debate in LA. So,
What- so
Clippers?
Whether they're
San Diego?
whether they're really L.A. or not is that?
Well, yeah,
'Cause
like
they
who's
are
the
in
better
LA, right?
LA
Yeah.
team?
Yeah.
At this point, it's
Yeah.
like they're in LA, so they
Yeah.
can't get out of
Okay.
it. But LA has to have.
So how do you feel
8
about
teams at once.
San Diego? Are you Padres? Maybe.
We have a really tough rivalry.
Yeah?
In baseball with San
Okay.
Diego, the
And
Padres, and the
San Diego was supposed to be pretty good this year, aren't they?
Yeah, well, they
Padres?
have all the talent in
Yeah.
the world, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
We're
what
very,
everybody
we're very
says.
competitive.
We'll
in
see.
California.
All right,
Yeah.
Rick, you got one
So
more?
this is just probably a really silly question, but it's you get to know someone's personality a little bit. So if you had one more meal left on
Mhm.
this earth, what would it be?
In-N-Out Burger. Hands down.
Yes.
Yeah, and I know, that's typical
Which one?
California.
Which one?
answer.
Number one, number two? What?
I'm getting the number one.
Number
Yeah,
one.
with a couple, added stuff. You get your extra pickle, extra spread,
Okay.
grilled onions, and hope nobody's getting hungry. Listen to this.
All right.
Is there anything
Sweet.
special about the In-N-Out Burger in California, things that they do that we don't know about here?
So I actually used to work at In-N-Out. It's the job I was talking about
Oh, he knows
Right.
all
during
the
COVID,
secrets.
so I do know a lot of secrets.
Yes.
There is a slight difference in the In-N-Out Burger in California and Texas, and the only reason is because the warehouses that they use are just slightly different. Like the product, the bun is different. But other than that, it's pretty same across the board. They're still good.
I if I'm going to be completely honest, the thing I don't like about In-N-Out that my wife loves is the fries.
That is
they're not
up for
greasy enough
debate.
for me.
They're
Yeah.
not greasy.
divisive.
Yes,
Very divisive.
Wow.
because Wendy's to me has the very best fries. From
That's a hot take.
Freddy's has the best fries.
I
in
don't
my
know that I've
opinion.
had a Freddy's, so I can't.
I don't know. Yeah, I've never had Freddy's.
You never had Freddy's?
No.
Check out Freddy's because you can get anything on your fries. I just love their fries over there. But there you go.
We digress.
We digress. We got off on the food. It is close to lunchtime as we're
Yeah.
recording this program.
I'm feeling hungry now all of a sudden. Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, it is so good having you on the show today. And man, we wish you all the best luck. Prayers for this season and rest of this. By the way, I was going to ask you, did y'all get to practice on the your scrimmage on the new field?
Yeah. Well, so we've been practicing on the field, all spring.
Yeah.
We kind of had our scrimmage on at Waxahachie ISD stadium. But we were able to practice this entire spring on the field, which is great. It's
Nice.
great being able to leave your dorm and then just walk out on the field. And
Yeah, that's very
have a
nice.
good time.
Cool.
Well, excellent. Well, thanks for being on the show, and thanks for being with us. And just want to remind everybody out there that Faith in Sports is a broadcast property of SAGU, a Christian university located in Waxahachie, Texas, and it has over 70 undergraduate and graduate degrees, including on-campus and online options. Faith in Sports is sponsored by VCRNow.com. Visit sagu.edu for more information. Also, stay up to date with all things SAGU athletics at sagulions.com.
See ya.